Good morning students. Today we are going to start our biology classes. In our biology, let us study about our first chapter, nutrition. Let us study about the nutrition. Nutrition is nothing but the process of procurement of nutrients. Nutrients are obtained by the taking of food material. But the entire food is not consisting of all nutrients, so we can't say that taking of food is nutrition. Why? Because in our taking food material, all the nutrients are not obtained. Whenever our food consisting of all the nutrients, that is called nutrition. Here we are going to be studying about that. The nutrition is mainly essential for the growth, repair and maintaining the body temperature of all living organisms. Here, from the single cell organisms to multicellular organisms, all the living organisms require food for their energy, growth and repair. So, they can obtain food material by the different modes of nutrition. Here, let us study about the different modes of nutrition. First of all, there is an autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. Autotrophic nutrition is performed by the autotrophs. What is meant by autotrophs? The organisms, those are able to prepare their own food material is called as autotrophs. Such type of nutrition is called as the autotrophic nutrition. For example, we are going to be studying about the all green plants and few photosynthetic bacteria. And heterotrophic nutrition. The organisms, those are depends on the others for their food requirements is called as heterotrophs. Such type of nutrition is called as the heterotrophic nutrition. For example, all the animals are depends on the other living organisms for their food requirements, so that such organisms are called heterotrophs, and such type of nutrition is called as the heterotrophic nutrition. In this lesson, we are going to be studying about the autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. First of all, we are going to be studying about the autotrophic nutrition. How the organisms prepare their own food material and how the autotrophs prepare their own food material. We are going to be studying in this autotrophic nutrition. For example, all the plants prepare their food material, just like it is going to be prepare the carbohydrates, proteins and lipids. How can it prepare their own food material? That means it requires sunlight and it also traps solar energy, and it is requires water, carbon dioxide and chlorophyll. Along with all these factors, plants can perform a process that is called as the photosynthesis. By the photosynthesis process, plants can prepare their own food material. Here, we are studying about the photosynthesis. Photo means light, synthesis means preparation. That means it is prepare own food material in the presence of sunlight. That's why we can call it as a photosynthesis. Here, all the living organisms directly or indirectly depends on the green plants for their food requirements, so that autotrophs, or we can say that autotrophic nutrition is the basic for all the living organisms. That's why we can call the photosynthesis is a basic life process. Why it is called as basic life process means because all the living organisms on the earth surface depends on the plants for their food requirements and also for their oxygen requirements. That's why photosynthesis is called as the basic life process. Here, different types of life processes are performed by the different types of organisms. All these organisms are requires energy for their life processes. This energy is obtained from the food material. That's why photosynthesis is an only process in the earth surface which is able to prepare their own food material. Here, plants can prepare carbohydrates by the process of photosynthesis. At the same time, these carbohydrates are modified into starch and cellulose. At the same time, these plants are also prepares proteins and fats. All these food sources are very essential for the growth and development of all living organisms, so that all living organisms are directly or indirectly depends on the plants. The plants can perform the photosynthesis. That photosynthesis is a basic life process on the earth surface. Here, this life process, which is helpful for the survival and survival of all organisms. That means we are going to observe that all the living organisms needs energy. At the same time, all the living organisms are survive and perpetuation of race by the life processes only. For example, we are going to be studying about that, like nutrition is one of the life process, respiration, transportation, excretion, coordination. All these life processes are requires energy. That energy is obtained by the taking of food material. This photosynthesis is prepares food material by the trapping of solar energy, and is also takes water from the earth surface, and it also takes the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. All these factors are synthesized in the chloroplast of the leaves. In the chloroplast, photosynthesis is going to be takes place. That's why chloroplast is called as the kitchen of the plants. Okay, students, now you can take the notes for this topic. Okay, now let us study about the photosynthesis. Here, photosynthesis is a process which is able to, all outdoors can prepare their own food material. That's why we are going to be called the plants are the universal food provider. Why? Because plants are the only organisms on the earth surface which can able to prepare their own food material, and it releases oxygen. That's why we can consider the photosynthesis as the basic life process. Now we are going to study about the how photosynthesis can be performed by the plants. Now we can look at here. Whenever we can observe that a plant can traps the solar energy, and it is receives the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, and which is receives water from the soil. Whenever all these sources like solar energy, carbon dioxide, water, these all are enters into the body of a plant, and here plants consisting of the chloroplast in their leaves. In the chloroplast, all these sources can be putting together, and is going to be starts the photosynthesis, and it is going to be prepare the food material. And early days, there is one of the scientists, his name was Von Helmont, which is going to be studied about the photosynthesis, and he is going to be start the experiments on how the plants can prepare the food material. Whenever he can observe that all the peoples are believed that soil is the only source for the photosynthesis, and soil is the sources consisting for the preparation of food material. But Von Helmont believed that not only soil, there is some other substances are present in the nature can helpful for the photosynthesis. Later, there is another scientist. His name was C.B. Van Neen. In the year 1931, he is going to be started experiments on the photosynthesis, how the plants are going to be starts the photosynthesis. Whenever he is observed carbon dioxide is react with water and releases any of the carbohydrate, and it is also releases water and oxygen. It is an equation given by the C.B. Van Neen in the year 1931. But at the same time, he is going to be observed the unicellular organisms like amoeba, paramecium, and some other photosynthetic bacteria. How they can perform the photosynthesis means that is along with the hydrogen sulfide. That means here plants can take the water, but unicellular organisms can take the hydrogen sulfide in the place of water, and it is going to be releases sulfur in the place of oxygen. That means in the unicellular organisms, it is going to be replace the hydrogen sulfide in the place of water, and it is going to be releases sulfur. It was given by the C.B. Van Neen. Many of the years, all the peoples are believed that the same equation, and finally there is another scientist. His name was Robert Hill. He is balanced the equation. According to Robert Hill, there is 6 molecules of carbon dioxide react with 12 molecules of water, and it produces carbohydrates and releases 6 molecules of water and releases 6 molecules of oxygen. If we are going to be observed in the entire reaction, which is going to be takes place in the presence of sunlight, which is going to be takes place in the chloroplast, and the chloroplast consisting of a green colored pigment, pigment that is called as chlorophyll. This is we call as the photosynthesis. The total photosynthesis equation is given by the Robert Hill. He is the scientist who balanced the equation for the photosynthesis. If you are going to be observed in this photosynthesis, there are several scientists are going to be conduct the several experiments and researches on the photosynthesis. So, like Van Helmont, he believed that plants are able to prepare the own food material not only with the soil, and there is other sources are there. And C.B. Van Leeuwen concluded that with his experiments, carbon dioxide and water is there, which is going to be takes the sunlight and which is going to be takes place in the chloroplast and releases carbohydrates and water and releases oxygen. And finally, Robert Hill can balance the equation with his experiments and researches. Whenever he observed that carbon dioxide react with water in the presence of sunlight at chloroplast, and it releases glucose and it releases water and it also releases oxygen. If we are observed in this equation, glucose is an source which is for the entire whole for the food material, and oxygen is the source for the respiration. That means simply we are going to be study about that photosynthesis is the only process which is going to release the carbohydrates and which is releases the oxygen. Those are essential for the survival of all living organisms, so that we can consider the photosynthesis is a basic life process. If we are going to be observe this photosynthesis can prepare the carbohydrate, these glucose, and finally which is going to be converted into different forms like starch, and it is going to be converted into cellulose, and these plants are also produces the proteins and fats. Whenever starch is going to be prepared in the plants, that starch will be stored in the leaves. Whenever the leaves are going to be stored the starch, this starch is helpful for the other organisms as a food source. Whenever we can see here, there is a presence of starch in leaves. Whenever we are going to be conduct an experiment to identify the presence of starch in leaves, for this experiment we are going to collect some of the apparatus like beaker, test tube, and gauze, that is an tripod stand and Bunsen burner, and we are going to take in some of the solutions like methylated spirit and iodine solution. All these apparatus can be collected for this experiment. Whenever we will collect all these apparatus, first of all we will take one of the test tube. In this test tube we will take the methylated spirit and we can place one of the green leaf in the methylated spirit, and then we will take one of the beaker and we can fill it with the help of the water, and then we can place it on the Bunsen burner, and then we can place an methylated spirit containing leaf which is going to be placed on the flame, and it is going to be starts burning for a few minutes. Whenever we are observed that this leaf can turns into pale color, then we have to carefully remove the leaf from the methylated spirit, and then we can place it on the petri dish, and we can spread the green leaf with the help of the brush, and then we can place the iodine solution or betadine solution on the leaf. Whenever we can place the iodine solution or betadine solution on the leaf, we can find out that the leaf can turn into blue-black color. That means whenever the leaf can turn into blue-black color, which is an indication for the presence of starch. By this experiment, we are concluded that plants are going to prepare the starch in the photosynthesis. Okay, students, now you can take the notes for this topic. Okay, students, in the last class we have studied about the presence of starch in the leaves. That was proved with an experiment. Now we are going to study about the factors for the process of photosynthesis and how they are essential for the photosynthesis. We are going to be concluded with some of the activities. First of all, we are going to study about the factors essential for the photosynthesis. In the last class, we have studied about that photosynthesis is performed in the presence of sunlight. At the same time, it is absorbs the water and it is also
traps the solar energy and it is takes the carbon dioxide and it is takes place in the chloroplast. Based on the presence of these sources, these factors are classified into two types. That is an external factors and internal factors. External factors such as carbon dioxide and sunlight is considered as the external factors and water and chloroplast is considered as the internal factors. Now we are going to study about that each and every factor and how these are essential for the photosynthesis. C.B. Van Niel proposed the entire sources for the photosynthesis and later Robert Hilton proposes with his experiments, he proved with his experiments and finally he concluded that equation with his experiments and researches and finally he balanced the equation. And it took 300 years for the entire discovery of the photosynthesis. According to Robert Hill, there is a major sources for the photosynthesis like water, air, sunlight and chloroplast. Now we are going to study about the importance of the water in photosynthesis. Whenever we are going to observe the importance of water in the photosynthesis, already we have studied in the lower classes. There is one of the scientists, his name was Von Helmont, found that water is essential for the photosynthesis. We know that the plant body consisting of 70 to 80% of the water and it is very essential for the photosynthesis. Whenever plants can take the water, this water absorption can increases the mass of the plant and it is also helpful for the photosynthesis. Now we are studied about that Von Helmont experiment in the earlier classes. So here we are going to be study about the importance of the air in photosynthesis. Whenever we are going to study about the importance of air in the photosynthesis, air plays a crucial role in the photosynthesis. It is very interesting to learn about the experiments which is essential for the photosynthesis. It is one of the milestone for the gradual development of the photosynthesis. According to Joseph Priestley, he is observed that in the year 1774, there is some of the gases or releases from the plants which are essential for the burning of the candle and it is helpful for the survival of living organisms. In the year 1774, Joseph Priestley discovered the oxygen and later in the year 1775, Lavoisier coined the name oxygen. According to Joseph Priestley and his experiments, he is going to be performs in one of the experiment with the help of the bell jar. Whenever he is taken and one of the bell jar, this bell jar is helpful for the identification of role of air in the photosynthesis. First of all, he is going to be taken one of the candle and he is going to be taken on one of the living mice. First, he is going to be burned on candle and placed under the bell jar. When he is going to be observed that he is placed on one of the living mice in the bell jar. Both are used the oxygen present in the bell jar and it is damaged the air in the bell jar and after few seconds the burning candle can puts off and the mice can die with the suffocation. By this experiment, he is proved that there is an oxygen is damaged by the living mice and burning candle. Now he is going to insert one of the mint plant into the bell jar. Whenever he is going to be introduce the mint plant into the bell jar, now again he is going to be introduce the living mice and burning candle. And he is going to be observed for the few seconds. Whenever he is going to be observed that burning plant can restore the air present in the bell jar so that candle can burn continuously and mice can alive. By this experiment, he is proved that here plants are going to be releases oxygen. With his introduction of the mint plant, plants it releases oxygen which is essential for the survival of an organism and is also essential for the combustion. So that Priestley's experiment confirmed that gaseous exchange was going on and plants were giving out a gas that supported burning, and it is also essential for the survival of animals. So massive amount of gaseous exchange occurs through the small pores present on the leaves, that is we can call as the stomata. This stomata plays a crucial role in the gaseous exchange. Whenever we are going to be observed, these stomata are present on the leaves. In some of the plants, these are present in the stem and roots also. It is one of the epidermal tissue which plays a crucial role in the gaseous exchange. Whenever gaseous exchange takes place in the mint plant, so that it is essential for the survival of an organism and for the burning candle. This is one of the experiment which is going to be confirmed by the Joseph Priestley with his experiment, that is we can call the Priestley's bell jar experiment.